I got fired for the 4th time in my life, and let me tell you what I learned. Today's video has been sponsored by Lady Dragonfly Apothecary. This is my business with my mom, and we create together intention candles to help manifest your intentions, manifesting your goals, your aspirations, and even how you want to feel. Made with 100% soy wax infused with herbs and crystals to help manifest your goals and the life that you want to live. All materials are ethically sourced and eco-friendly. And go ahead and shop your favorite crystal candles at ladydragonfly.us. And go ahead and use our code WELCOME15 for a 15% off. All the details are in the description below. Now, let's get back to the video. Hi, welcome. My name is Victoria. I am the co-host of this space. It's called Together We Heal. In this channel, we talk about manifestation, spirituality, and self-improvement. Today, we're going to be talking about my experience of getting fired and what I learned and how this experience of getting fired was the best thing that could have happened to me as a creative person and as a business owner. First of all, let me explain a little bit of my background and my experience. So, I've had a career for about 7 years in media and marketing. So I studied journalism and graphic design for my bachelor's. I got my master's degree in public relations. 7 years of experience. I have been scaling. I started as a copywriter, which is basically a writer for advertisement and social media. So from a copywriter, I became a social media manager and later on a content writer again, but in a different format. It was more for websites and web design. Then I was a marketing specialist. So a marketing specialist is an all-rounder, someone who knows about web content, copywriting, social media management. In that role, that's where I grew most in my career. I started as a copywriter right out of college and ended up being a content marketing manager. Long story short, I was fired because while I was very good at organic content marketing, the person who was in charge of hiring did not understand the role that they wanted. So they titled the role as content marketing manager, but were thinking of a print editor or print creation person who creates collateral, magazines, print material. And that is not my experience. So obviously, I was very lacking in this area while I was thriving on this other area, which they did not really value. So, and it's very important to really detail and understand the roles that you as a company owner, as an employer, you have to understand and really research what is the name and of the role and what is the experience that you need. What is the experience that you're looking for in the person that you're hiring? Because then it puts me at a disadvantage. It puts this person at a very big disadvantage, right? Because if you're going into a role thinking it's this experience XYZ, and then it turns out to be something completely different that you have no experience with, obviously you're gonna feel at a very big disadvantage and at one point gaslighted. Getting fired affect me. Seeing as I was fired for the 4th time in 7 years, I've learned a lot over my different roles and scaling in this industry. And I understood that the role was not clearly defined and that there were a very big disconnection and misalignments between what I know the role is and between what the organization thinks that the role is. So obviously there was a very big disconnect, and as I was being laid off, that's exactly what they told me. They said, you're really great at social media and all this internet things, but we need someone that does all these things as well. Like, so that's what happened. In terms, like, also another thing that really helps me is my mindset. So for me, I always think if one door closed, another one will open, or it's like rejection is a way of redirection and protection. And for me, it was a very eye-opening moment because I was feeling very overwhelmed and undervalued, and I was feeling very compressed in this atmosphere where I did not feel like I was given the tools to give my 100%, and I myself am an overachiever. So if I feel like I am not giving my 100%, that's gonna affect my self-esteem. That's gonna affect how I feel about me. So what I did was that I detached from those feelings. I saw the things for what they were, not from what people are telling me or from this perspective of other people's perspective. It's very important that you understand your value, really see things for what they are. It's very important that you see things for what they are, not for other people's perception. How did I overcome this? Being fired, even though I have a really good mindset, it still affects me. It still affected me, and I was thinking all kinds of things, all these limiting beliefs, all these negative thoughts that happens naturally with our brains. You just have to take control and see what is real and what is false. So how did I overcome it? I saw different patterns. So as I have experience of being fired, I saw patterns of a toxic environment, disorganization, and bad culture. So when you see those kinds of patterns, realize that the problem is not you. The problem is your environment. So you have to understand and take responsibility for what you need to take responsibility for. And there's times where you don't have to take responsibility, and see things as they are. I'm a person that believes in accountability 100%, and I have the experience and the knowledge to back up my claims. So I know that kind of attitude and confidence does not sit well with people in charge. It's happened to me before, and that's why getting fired was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because in one of those times that I got fired, I started my business. That motivated me to start a whole new chapter in my life where I'm taking control of my life. Do you identify those factors of, okay, is it me? Am I being gaslighted? Is it a toxic environment? All these questions you need to ask yourself before you start casting blame on yourself. It's really unhealthy to be going through these transitions and then dumping on yourself on top of it. It's really damaging to the psyche and your self-esteem, and it doesn't not help to be blaming yourself for whatever happened. The outcome is still the same, and nothing changed if you blame yourself. What did I learn? I learned in this experience that defining the role and duties in the beginning of your employment is very, very important. You need to clarify with your employer, your manager, your supervisor, whoever it is, and clearly define your role. What is it that is expected of you, and what are your expectations towards the employer and the organization? What I would do different is read the room a little and see that since it was a small company, they had no HR. I didn't have a chance to win, even if I was right. Immediately notice the signs of toxicity and bad culture and move out. That's what I would have done differently. I would have not given the employer a chance. and I would have moved more quickly. That's what I would have done differently. Finally, if you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is a new YouTube channel. This is a new opportunity for us, and we are very excited to be here. If you had a similar experience where you've been fired before, please leave a comment below and let us know what was your experience, how did you deal with it, or how are you dealing with it. Being fired is very tumultuous. It's a very emotional time, and it can feel very compressing and negative. 3 things I do to stay positive. I have a gratitude list. I do a gratitude list every day. I list 3 things I'm grateful for, and it cannot be the same thing every day. It cannot be the dog, your food, your coffee. It's not gonna work like that. It's really a lot of work to find beauty, to find something to be grateful for when you are having a very bad time. Journal, it's a very tiny pocket journal. Doing a gratitude list even before I got fired, because the environment was so tough. I had to find nice things to be grateful for, so I started. It's been like a month or 2 months already. I set the date and I list 3 things that I'm grateful for that day. Let me tell you that the vibes, my days have been better because I push myself to find positivity in my life. Just looking at it, it motivates me. So that's very important for me as a person. That's very important for me to have things that make me happy and get me fired up and motivated, even though I'm having a bad moment. 2 is to think that this is temporary, right? That you're not gonna be unemployed forever. This is something that just happened to you. It's a setback, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's meant to be, so you can course correct and find something new that you want to do in your life. Like, for example, for me, this time I decided that I am going to completely change industries. I am no longer going to keep working in marketing and wanting to scale, because I actually met my goal. I wanted to be a marketing manager by the time I was 28. I actually met that goal by the time I was 29. I got there, I thought, this is not for me. This is not setting my heart on fire. This is not gonna work for me anymore. So I need to course correct. I need to find what sets my heart on fire. And yes, I have a business, but I also am an artist. That is my soul. That is what my soul needs and wants. I create candles, I create paintings, I create mixed media art, and that sets my soul on fire. Actually decided no more. I'm not gonna scale anymore. I'm gonna step out of the matrix, and I'm not gonna continue with this stereotypical 9-to-5 office job. It's not for me. Don't function well there. In an environment where I'm in a box. In an environment where I don't get to be creative and expand my creative horizons. I don't do well in environments like that. So this experience led me to my new passion project, and that is being a career artist. It's gonna be hard. No one said life was easy. It's gonna be really fun, and that's what's important to me. I need to do things that I love. If I'm just doing things for a paycheck, that's not gonna fulfill my soul. If I'm doing something I love and I get a big paycheck, well then that's something I'm gonna love. 3 is take action. If you discover your new journey, your new goal, and don't take action, then there's no point. You have to take those steps into action, right? So if I want to be a career artist, I know that I need to set up my website, set up an artist resume, upload my art into my website, and start submitting pieces for expos and shows. What are some action steps that you can take right now? And if you're totally lost and you don't know what to do right now, that's totally fine. That means you have a blank canvas to work with. Finding what is next. Isn't that exciting? It's so exciting to start something new and start exploring these new avenues. I don't know about you, but that gets me fired up. Thank you for being here, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye!